3 retired ER surgeons were bragging about their accomplishments. One doctor bragged that he had a patient show up with 2 legs missing from a tractor accident. He fixed him all up, and he became the greatest basketball player of all time. The next doctor bragged that he had a shark bite patient who had his arms bitten off. He fixed him up, and he became a superstar NFL quarterback. The third doctor laughed at them and said, "Oh yeah? Well, one time, I had a patient arrive after being in a catastrophic car accident. The only thing they were able to recover was his asshole and a bag of Cheetos. I sewed him back together, and he went on to become the President of the United States." A professor travels to Africa to live with a primitive tribe and spends years with them, teaching them all about the wonders of science and mathematics. He makes friends with the tribe's chief and his wife, and they all live happily for some time. One day, the chief's wife gives birth to a white child. The word spreads, and the entire tribe is in shock. The chief pulls the professor aside and says, "Look, you are the only white man we've ever seen around here, and my wife gave birth to a white child. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what happened." The professor replied, "No, chief, you're mistaken. What we have here is a natural occurrence, what we in the civilized world call an albino. Look at that field over there. All the sheep are white except for one black one. Nature does this on occasion." The chief was silent for a moment, then said, "Tell you what, you don't say anything more about that sheep, and I won't say anything more about the white kid." The only cow in a small town in USA stopped giving milk. The people did some research and found that they could buy a cow from BC, Canada for $1,000 or one from Alberta, Canada for $800. Being poor, they bought the cow from Alberta. The cow was wonderful. It produced lots of milk all the time, and the people were amazed and very happy. They decided to acquire a bull to mate with the cow and produce more cows like it. Then they would never have to worry about the milk supply again. They bought a bull and put it in the pasture with their beloved cow. However, whenever the bull came close to the cow would move away. No matter what approach the bull tried, the cow would move away from the bull, and he could not succeed in his quest. The people were very upset and decided to ask the rabbi, who was very wise, what to do. They told the rabbi what was happening. Whenever the bull approaches our cow, she moves away. If he approaches from the back, she moves forward. When he approaches her from the front, she backs off. An approach from the side, and she just walks away to the other side. The rabbi thought about this for a minute and asked, "Did you buy this cow from Alberta?" The people were dumbfounded. They had never mentioned where they had gotten the cow. "You are truly a wise rabbi. How did you know we got the cow from Alberta?" The rabbi answered sadly, "My wife is from Alberta." A farmer named Paddy had a car accident. He was hit by a truck owned by the Eversweet Company. In court, the Eversweet Company's hotshot solicitor was questioning Paddy. "Didn't you say to the police at the scene of the accident, 'I'm fine'?" asked the solicitor. Paddy responded, "Well, I'll tell you what happened. I just loaded my favorite cow, Bessie, into the—" "I didn't ask for any details," the solicitor interrupted. "Just answer the question. Did you not say, at the scene of the accident, 'I'm fine'?" Paddy said, "Well, I just got Bessie into a trailer, and I was driving down the road." The solicitor interrupted again and said, "Your Honor, I am trying to establish the fact that, at the scene of the accident, this man told the police on the scene that he was fine. Now, several weeks after the accident, he is trying to sue my client. I believe he is a fraud. Please tell him to simply answer the question." By this time, The judge was fairly interested in Paddy's answer and said to the solicitor, "I'd like to hear what he has to say about his favorite cow, Bessie." Paddy thanked the judge and proceeded. "Well, as I was saying, I had just loaded Bessie, my favorite cow, into the trailer and was driving her down the road when this huge Eversweet truck and trailer came thundering through a stop sign and hit me trailer right into side. I was thrown into one ditch and Bessie was thrown into the other. By Jesus, I was hurt, very bad like, and didn't want to move. However, I could hear old Bessie moaning and groaning. I knew she was in terrible pain just by her groans. Shortly after the accident, a policeman on a motorbike turned up. He could hear Bessie moaning and groaning too, so he went over to her. After he looked at her and saw her condition, he took out his gun and shot her between the eyes. The policeman came across the road, gun still in hand, looked at me and said, "How are you feeling?" "What the hell do you say?" A man is dying in the hospital. He's surrounded by his 2 sons, his daughter, his wife, and a nurse. He turns to his family and says, "Peter, my eldest, I leave you the villas in Beverly Hills. Samantha, my beautiful daughter, to you I give the apartments in Los Angeles Plaza. Charlie, my youngest son, I see a long and bright future in you. So I leave the city center offices to you. And my dear wife, the 3 residential towers in downtown are all yours." The nurse hears all of this and is impressed at the man's sizable fortune. She turns to the wife and says, "Ma'am, your husband must be very rich to be bequeathing so many properties. You all are so lucky." The wife retorts, "Rich? Lucky? Are you kidding me? He's a milkman. He's giving us his roots." One Monday morning, a man calls his boss and says, "I'm sorry, sir, but I'm really sick. I think I'm going to have to take the whole week off." His boss says, "This is going to be a very busy week. I really need you to be here. Whenever I feel sick, I just have a really good, hard, rough, doggy-style fuck with my wife. Then I always feel better. You should try that and see if it works for you." Later that afternoon, the man calls his boss and says, "Sir, I tried what you suggested and it worked. I feel way better. I will be in to work tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The boss says, "That's great. See you tomorrow." The man replies, "And by the way, sir, your house is absolutely beautiful." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.